It started on an unremarkable Tuesday, the kind of day that slides by with the ease of routine. Suburbia perched around Karen's windowsill, trimmed hedges, the hum of distant leaf blowers, kids squealing in faded backyards. Inside her living room, there was the spin of ceiling fans and the sweet aroma of cheap wine. The book club, a huddle of 5 women, all caught between domesticity and restless curiosity, had become her ritual. They trusted her to host, to pour, to listen. They didn't see the edges sharp enough to draw blood. Karen stood by the mantel, watching them chatter about plot lines and recipes. Each laugh seemed to echo off the walls, stick in her throat, and mutate into something insidious. Somewhere in the heart of suburbia, Karen found a hunger for emptiness. She smiled, tight and rehearsed, and interjected with stories about the stalker, a shadowy man she'd never seen, who left notes on her doorstep, who'd press smudges on her rain-streaked windows, who peered at her sons while they slept. At first, the women indulged her, the suburban mom's own thriller, perhaps the wine speaking, but the stories grew twisted. One night, Karen's voice trembled as she described how the stalker had been inside, how he'd whispered to her from behind the pantry door, how she'd felt his breath on her neck. "It's just your imagination," Shirley had said, draining the last of her Chardonnay. But Karen saw their doubts. She kept notes, long rambling letters, addressed in crude handwriting, each more terrifying than the last. She piled them on for weeks, let them ferment like bruised fruit. The tension bloomed unseen, twisting smiles into nervous glances. The book club met less often. No one wanted to be around someone haunted by phantoms. The final evening, rain lashed the windows, thunder mumbling beyond the syrupy glow of lamplight. Karen handed them mugs of mulled wine, her own hands trembling. She blamed the fear they drank to calm her nerves, ignoring the metallic undertone. Minutes later, their laughter dissolved into confusion, throats tightening, eyes glazed with panic. As they crumpled, one by one, Karen sat among the soft bodies, soaked in sudden quiet. The storm outside ebbed, leaving only her own breath and the rhythmic clicking of a clock. She rehearsed her story once more, how the stalker had come for her, how he had turned the wine to poison, how she alone survived the massacre. The police officers listened, their faces pinched with skepticism, but there was no evidence to dispute her, only the stack of ominous notes, her trembling tear-streaked face, her hands pressed together like a prayer. The funerals passed, casseroles piled high, and Karen resumed her life, visibly shaken but free. Yet, late at night, she checked her locks twice, then thrice. Once awake in darkness, Karen noticed a shadow spill across the hallway, where no shadow should exist. Her heart hammered as she stared into the blackness, waiting, breath held, because sometimes when you invent monsters, you invite them to step inside.